Hello dear children, hope you're doing great. And today let's have a revision of the lesson My Childhood. It is the sixth lesson of your textbook Beehive. And this particular extract is taken from Wings of Fire, the autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam. And as the title rightly says, it is about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's childhood. And this particular plot is almost like a summary of his biography, Wings of Fire. And this story starts with a few instances describing Kalam's childhood. He had a long, tough journey till he became a famous scientist and consequently the Missile Man of India. And Kalam has been brought up in a very simple family with high values. And Kalam talks about his family, siblings and friends who played an important role in reshaping his life and helping him become who he wanted to. Now let us see a detailed summary of this extract. And this summary actually revolves around APJ Abdul Kalam, who was born into a middle class Muslim family. Kalam had 3 brothers and 1 sister whom he shared and enjoyed his childhood with. And his parents were very kind-hearted and simple people with great moral values. And Kalam spent his entire childhood and grew up living in his ancestral house. And his father was a very hardworking and simple person. His entire focus and priorities were to fulfill the necessities of his family and provide them with a decent life. And Kalam's parents were not that educated and they were not rich as well, but they had a very good heart of gold and high values of self-discipline and honesty. They always urged their children to follow their dreams and never forced their own decisions on them. Despite being a part of a Muslim family, Kalam's family strongly believed and practiced secularism. They believed in the equality of all religions and never belittled anyone in any regard, as they were strictly against social inequality. The family happily enjoyed Hindu festivities and rituals. Also, as a child, Kalam heard a lot of stories of the Prophet as well as Ramayana from his grandmother and mother, which is sweet and clear evidence of the fact that the family had an open heart and mind regarding the nature of mankind. And childhood is incomplete without friends, right? This held in the case of Kalam too. Kalam had 3 close friends while growing up who had a great influence and positive impact in his life. They always supported and motivated each other to be better every day. And all these friends were from different cultural backgrounds but blended well with each other. There was no trace of racism or discrimination, but just love and brotherhood among them. While growing up, a lot of layers get added in everyone's life, which includes layers of responsibilities, decisions, etc. And the story prominently highlights an instance from Kalam's childhood when he was in 5th grade. Kalam generally had a habit of wearing a cap, which gave him a distinct Muslim look. Also, he liked to sit on the same bench with one of his classmates named Ramananda, whose father was a Hindu priest. As children, they both always felt happy sitting next to each other. However, there was a new teacher who showed signs of narrow-mindedness and therefore couldn't tolerate this beautiful bond. He made a deliberate attempt to shift Kalam to the backbench so that the two friends can no longer sit together. This instance broke the hearts of Kalam and his friend Ramananda. Both the children informed their parents about the sad incident, to which Ramananda's father came to meet their teacher and asked them to stop spreading communal hatred and social inequality. He even demanded an apology and warned, in case if the teacher refuses, then he must quit. In response to this, the teacher quickly made an apology and reformed his behavior. Not only this, there was another such instance from Kalam's childhood which never fails to touch the hearts of people. There was an occasion where Abdul was invited by his science teacher and invited him to come home for dinner. The wife of the science teacher was skeptical about her beliefs in religious segregation and was therefore reluctant to serve him food. The science teacher loved Kalam immensely and has no such beliefs regarding the difference in religions. Therefore, he decided to serve him dinner and sat beside him to eat his meal. His wife observed all this by standing behind the door. This melted her heart a little and gradually changed her completely. Hence, when Kalam was invited the second time, the wife of the science teacher served him with the meal but from the kitchen. The science teacher was happy that his wife's thought process changed at least bit by bit. By the time the Second World War ended, Kalam had grown up and thus his upbringing came to an end. He went out for his further studies at Ramanathapuram upon receiving permission from his parents. Although he was one of the most lovable children of the family, at some point in life, his parents had to be strong to let him go and live his dreams. Here ends the lesson. Now let us deal with some of the frequently asked questions. Number 1, the author talks about two people who were conscious of the variations among them and people who tried to attach these differences. Are you able to identify such people within the text? And the answer, the person who was conscious of these differences was the young teacher who came to teach Kalam's class in the 5th standard. He ordered Kalam to take a seat on the last bench as he belonged to a lower caste. And the next person of this kind is Shiva Subramania Iyer's wife, who was a conservative Hindu Brahmin. She denied to serve him food as she doubted his presence would render the kitchen impure. The people that connected these differences were Lakshmana Sastri, Ramanatha Sastri's father, and Shiva Subramania Iyer. The priest of the Rameshwaram temple was Sastri. He scolded the young teacher and asked him to apologize for sowing the seeds of spiritual discrimination into the innocent minds of the youngsters. Finally, Shiva Subramania Iyer gave food to Kalam and sat alongside him to eat, which mentored his wife. The next question, what did Kalam's father say about Kalam's decision of leaving Rameshwaram? What did his words imply? Kalam's father said that he knew Abdul had to go away from home as he had to fulfill his dreams. He gave the instance of the seagull bird which flies endlessly over long distances and doesn't have a nest too. Kalam's father pacified Kalam's mother by quoting a couple of lines from the poem Your Children by Khalil Ibrahim. He said that her children were not her possession, but were life's desire for itself. She shouldn't impose her thoughts on them, but should allow them to fulfill their thoughts. He wanted to pursue higher studies, allowing him to travel to Ramanathapuram. Now let us deal with some of the book back questions. Answer these questions in one or two sentences each. Where was Abdul Kalam's house? Abdul Kalam's house was located on the Mask Street in the town of Rameswaram in Tamil Nadu state. What do you think Dinamani is the name of? Give a reason for your answer. Dinamani is the name of a newspaper. It's a vernacular daily printed in Tamil language. I think so because Kalam says that he traced the stories of the war in the headlines of Dinamani. Who were Abdul Kalam's school friends? What did they later become? During his childhood, Abdul Kalam had three friends. Their names are Ramanatha Sastry, Aravindan and Sivaprakashan. When they grew up, Ramanatha Sastry became the priest of the Rameswaram temple. Aravindan started a business of transporting pilgrims to and from the Rameswaram temple, and Sivaprakashan became a caterer for the railways. How did Abdul Kalam earn his first wages? Abdul Kalam earned his first wages by catching the bundle of newspapers thrown out of the moving train at the Rameswaram station. He helped his cousin in distributing newspapers in Rameswaram. Had he earned any money before that? In what way? When the Second World War started, there was a great demand for tamarind seeds. Kalam would collect them and sell them to a grocery store located on Mask Street. He would earn an anna, which was a meager sum, but for him it was a handsome sum of money. How does the author describe his father, his mother, himself? Kalam's father's name was Jainul Abdin. He was not educated and was not a wealthy man. Kalam says that despite this, his father possessed innate wisdom, honesty, and was a generous man. He did not believe in wasting money on luxuries, but provided them with all the necessities of life like food, clothing, and medicine. Kalam's mother's name was Ashiyamma. She supported her husband in his decisions. She was a kind-hearted woman. Kalam recollects that his mother would feed meals to numerous people. He inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness from her. Kalam was short and had ordinary looks, while his parents were tall and looked handsome. He was brought up in a secure atmosphere. He grew up to become an honest and self-disciplined man. He believed in goodness and deep kindness. And now a short answer here from inside this question. What characteristics does he say he inherited from his parents? Kalam has inherited honesty and self-discipline from his father. His mother imbibed in him faith in goodness and deep kindness. On the whole, the small society of Rameswaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups, says the author. Which social groups does he mention? Were these groups easily identifiable? For example, by the way they dressed. The social groups mentioned by Kalam were the Hindu Brahmins and the Muslims. Yes, these groups were easily identifiable by the way they dressed. As Kalam was a Muslim, he wore a cap which distinguished him from his Hindu Brahmin friends who wore the sacred thread. Were they aware only of their differences, or did they also naturally share friendships and experiences? Think of the bedtime stories in Kalam's house of who his friends were and of what used to take place in the pond near his house. No, they were not aware of any differences. Kalam and the other children listened to bedtime stories from their mother and grandmother. These were from both the Ramayana and from the life of Prophet. The family participated in the Hindu festival of Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam by arranging boats for transporting the idols from the temple to the pond located near their house. Let's now know the theme of this lesson. The theme of my childhood is that our life is shaped by our experiences and the people around us. Kalam's secure childhood, inspiring parents, supportive friends, and honest teachers instilled great values in him that gave him wings of fire. Now let us discuss about the meaning of the title. Here Abdul Kalam talks about his childhood days. In particular, he talks about some incidents that left an indelible impression on his young mind. He describes his family, his house, his childhood experiences, and his childhood friends. Therefore, the title, My Childhood, is very apt. Now let's learn about the characters. First, let us deal with Kalam's parents. Kalam's parents, Jainul Abidin and Ashima, were very tall and good looking. Though they did not have abundant resources, both of them were very generous and fed a lot of outsiders along with their own family members. Practicing the values of honesty and self-discipline, they led a simple life which did not have any place for inessential comforts or luxuries. However, Kalam's father made sure that all basic necessities were provided for. He was very liberal and didn't believe in trusting his thoughts on his children. He had a secular approach and contributed fully during the celebration of Hindu festivals like Sri Sita Rama's Kalyanam ceremony. Kalam's mother was ideal support to her husband. She had faith in goodness and was a very kind-hearted woman. And now about the character sketch of the hero of this lesson, Abdul Kalam. A boy of ordinary looks, Abdul Kalam had many sterling qualities right from his childhood. He had immense affection and respect for his parents. He inherited the values of honesty and self-discipline from his father and faith in goodness and deep kindness from his mother. Kalam was an enterprising and a hard-working child. He collected tamarind seeds when they were in demand and sold them to earn small yet significant amounts. Very confident of himself, he did every piece of work assigned to him with full dedication. He helped his cousin to catch bundles from the running trains when the train halt at Rameshwaram was suspended during the Second World War. He was also a sensitive child and learnt valuable lessons from his experiences. He learnt early in life that caste-based segregation is a poison that must not be allowed to thrive. Kalam was also progressive and took the decision at the right time to leave his hometown to study further and grow in life. And next is the characteristic sketch of his science teacher, Siva Subramania Iyer. An Orthodox Brahmin, Siva Subramania Iyer was Kalam's science teacher in school. He was a very tolerant and broad-minded person. He was a rebel who wished to bring about a transformation in society and was mentally prepared to confront hindrances during this process. He faced challenges even from his own family when his wife refused to serve food to Kalam, who had been invited by Iyer himself. But without losing faith in his belief that caste and religion do not segregate people, he served the child himself. Thus, he reformed his wife not by force, but by setting an example. Iyer was also a dedicated teacher who established a good rapport with his students. He encouraged and inspired them as he taught and spent long hours with them. Now let us move on to some MCQs from this lesson. Question number 1. In which family was Abdul Kalam born? A middle-class Nepali family, a rich Tamil family, a middle-class Tamil family, a rich Maratha family. And the answer is a middle class Tamil family? Option C. Where was Abdul Kalam born? In the island town of Rameshwaram, in the island town of Bihar, in the island town of Kolkata, in the island town of Patna. And the answer is in the island town of Rameshwaram. Now let us know the right spelling of Jainul Abidin. Who was Abdul Kalam's father? Jainul Abidin. Jainulabdeen. Option B is the right answer. What is true about Abdul Kalam's father? He did not have much formal education. He was highly emotional. He did not have much wealth. Both A and C. And the answer is both A and C. Now question number 5. What is true about Jainul Abidin here? He possessed great innate wisdom. He had a true generosity of spirit. He was very clever. And option D, both A and B. And the answer is option D, both A and B. He possessed great innate wisdom and he had a true generosity of spirit as well. Who was an ideal helpmate for Jainul Abidin? His father. Options: his mother, his father, his son, his wife. The answer is his mother, option A. Next question. Who was Abdul Kalam's mother? Ashiyamma, Kariyappa, Sumitra Devi, Noor Bano. Answer is Ashiyamma. How many outsiders ate at Abdul Kalam's house every day? 10, 14, 13, more than the family members. And the option is more than the family members. What is true about Abdul Kalam here? He was very short in height. He had an undistinguished looks. He was born to tall and handsome parents. All of these. And the answer is option D, all of these. Where did Abdul live? In his village house, in his city house, in his new house, in his ancestral house. And the option is in his ancestral house. Question number 11. When was his house built? In the beginning of 20th century, in the beginning of the 19th century, in the middle of the 19th century, and in the middle of the 20th century. And the answer is in the middle of the 19th century, option C. Question number 12. Which fact is true about Abdul Kalam's house? It was a fairly large Paka house. It was made of limestone and bricks. It was built on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. And option D, all of these. And the right answer is all of these. Next question. What was or were the necessities provided to Abdul Kalam? A, food, B, medicine, C, clothing, and D, all of these. And the answer is option D, all of these. 14. In what sense Abdul Kalam's childhood was very secure? Materially, emotionally, economically, both A and B. And the answer is both A and B. When did the Second World War break out? In 1940, in 1939, in 1941, and in 1942. And the option is B, 1939. What was Abdul Kalam's age at the beginning of World War II? 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, and 10 years. And the right option is option B, 8 years. What did Abdul not understand? Why the people had started going to temple twice a day? Why people were not worried about their health? Why people had left their houses? Why the demand for tamarind seeds had erupted in the market? And the right answer is option D. Why the demand for tamarind seeds had erupted in the market. Question number 18. What did Abdul Kalam do with the seeds he had collected? He would store them in a jar. He would give them to the needy people. He would sell them to a provision shop, on Mask Street? And option D, none of these. And the right answer is he would sell them to a provision shop on Mask Street. Question number 19. How much money Abdul would earn after selling the tamarind seeds? 1 anna, 2 anna, 1 rupee, 2 rupee. And the answer is 1 anna. Option A. Who would tell Abdul the stories about the war? His father, his mother, his brother-in-law. And the option is option D, his brother-in-law. Who was Abdul Kalam's brother-in-law? A. Fakhruddin, B. Ahmed Khan, C. Jalaluddin, D. Januddin. And the option is C. Jalaluddin. In which newspaper did Abdul try to find the headlines about the war? In the Times of India, in Dinamani, in Dinamani, and D. in the Hindu. And the right answer is C. Dinamani. Why was Abdul Kalam's area completely unaffected by the war? Their area was isolated. There were many soldiers in their village because the people were not afraid of war, because people were willing to go to war. The answer is their area was isolated. Question number 24. When was something like a state of emergency declared in the country? Options. When India had a war with Pakistan, when India had to fight with China, when India was forced to join the Allied forces in the Second World War, when India was forced to join the Allied forces in the First World War. And the answer is when India was forced to join the Allied forces in the Second World War. Option C is the right answer. Now question number 25. In what form did the first casualty come at Rameshwaram? Options. The suspension of the train halt at Rameshwaram station, the suspension of fundamental rights of the people, the death of 100 soldiers in the war, the death of Abdul Kalam's father in war. And the answer, the suspension of the train halt at the Rameshwaram station. Question number 26. On which road had the bundled newspapers to be thrown out from the moving train? Options. Rameshwaram Road between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi, Rameshwaram Road between Rameshwaram and Interkodi, Rameshwaram Road between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkoti, Rameshwaram Road between Rameshwaram and Dharamshala. And the answer is option A, Rameshwaram Road between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. Question 27. Who was Abdul Kalam's cousin who would do the work of distributing newspaper there? And the options, Jalaluddin, Jailuddin, Samsuddin, Samsuddin. And the answer is option D, Samsuddin. And the last question, why did Samsuddin need a helping hand? Options, A, he was ill, B, he was overburdened, C, to catch the bundles from the moving train, D, all of these. And the option is C, to catch the bundles from the moving train. Here ends our MCQ questions, and I hope we have revised in all aspects. Thank you all children. Have a great day.